Los Angeles District Attorney, the man making the call, agrees to look at new evidence of sexual abuse and then to reconsider. Joining me now is the District Attorney, George Gascón, also joined by a cousin of the Menendez brothers, okay? Karen Copley. She is the niece of Kitty Menendez, the Menendez brothers' mother, whom they shot and killed. She says it's time for them to be released. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. District Attorney, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. While this is going on, to come on and make the case. So let's deal with not the young people. Let's deal with the old people like me who say, Mr. District Attorney, how can you reconsider a case like this? What is driving your decision?
Well, there are a couple of things. And, one of them is a very traditional way of defense challenging a case, and this called a habeas. And I know, Chris, you're an attorney, but, for those that are not, if there is new evidence or evidence that should have been presented in front of the jury and the court, that for whatever reason it didn't, and they can establish that, then they can go back to a court and say, hey, look, this trial would have had a different outcome had this been presented. And obviously the defense here is arguing, the molestation, right? They're talking about a letter that was sent from one of the brothers to the cousin saying, hey, I'm dealing with this molestation for a long time. I don't know how to behave. The other one has to do with one of the Menudo singers, a rock group that also claimed 2 years ago that he was molested by the dad. That information has come into our hands and we're reviewing it, right? The other component is under California law, and there is more recent law, allows prosecutors like myself to take a look at a case where the conviction was appropriate, but the person has rehabilitated. They have been in prison for a very long period of time, and perhaps reconsidering that and releasing that person may be appropriate. Now, either case has to be approved by a court, but we actually have petitions that are both, one through the habeas, one through the resentencing. There's lots of evidence that we're evaluating that actually the brothers have rehabilitated. They have gone to college. They have been tutors to others. They're working in nonprofit organizations. So all this is in the mix. And, we have resentenced, I've been in office, about 300 people. The reoffending rate for those people has been 4 out of 300. I mean, we would be the safest country in the world if we had that kind of recidivism rate everywhere else. And here we have 2 people that apparently may have rehabilitated, evaluating that. They went to prison very early on, 19 and 21 years of age. So that's where we are.
Well, first, I think that if this is about evidence of sexual abuse that for whatever political or legal reasons were not made a big deal of back then, if that's what it does, I think there'll be one response. If I think that this is the basis of, well, they've been rehabilitated, you're going to have a lot of people that your community will think will be higher on the list than 2 guys who intentionally shot their 2 parents, right? So how much of this do you hope is a function of new evidence of potential innocence?
Look, I think that we evaluate it all, right? We have to look at the law as it currently states. There is no question that there is evidence that perhaps, if it's true, should have been put in front of a jury. Evidently, some of that evidence went in the first trial and the jury hung, right? And then there was a reason why some of that evidence was not presented, and there's new evidence as well, right? So we're evaluating both tracks, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, justice is being served.
How long do you think it'll take before you make a determination?
We have a hearing date for the habeas on the 29th of November. We may be coming closer on a resentencing date. We're evaluating both, and I hope to have something by the end of the month, maybe, or early next month.
Mr. DA, you are welcome to an open invitation here to discuss your course of this all the way through. I see it as a really interesting look into law and politics. I think both were at play then, and both are always at play now. So, Mr. DA, you are welcome here. Thank you for joining us. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.